largely.
Parties, well, number one, I will repeat this for you. All parties attending the meeting should remain seated while in the meeting room. If the chairs aren't available, then you can stand until a chair becomes available. Okay, number two, those videotaping the meeting may do so while seated. And number seven, those taping and otherwise needing power need to provide their own source. So you have questions about 1, 2, and 7?
As I indicated last time, I will challenge this in the court and seek a declaratory judgment. I don't think any of the three are enforceable.
Okay.
And I'll
You have a question?
Yes, because I mean we can't record sitting down, not and get quality footage, and so accommodations must be made if we want to record, and that's why I asked what regulations do you have to substantiate and validate that.
Okay.
And that's why I'm asking the board to provide that before you assume and vote on something and have to come back and correct it. We need to have the facts in hand before we make a decision.
Robert, you have another
Can I ask what the big deal is about the power supply?
Confusion. Cable.
Well, Robert, I think I kind of addressed that before. There's so many outlets. Robert, can I finish?
Yes.
Okay. What if there was, every person in here wanted to do it? Who gets the source? Okay. We're just trying to make this uniform and across the board for all audience members. Okay. We can't say 10 people can come in and plug in. That's the reason for that and the tripod
Then I would say put an amendment in there that says if there's competition for electrical supply, no one will have access to it, and they shall have to use their own power supply. When there is no competition to power supply, it should not be an issue. And I agree with you. If we got 10 people in here trying to film the meetings, the board can't decide, oh, you get it and you don't.
Exactly.
You're correct. But if that doesn't turn out to be an issue, there's no competition for those power supplies. I'd also make the same comment that could be applied for tripods, but I don't have an issue with the tripods because, quite frankly, my use of them has seemed to be more difficult to film the meeting than holding the camera, so that doesn't bother me. Power supply does, if there's no competition to it, and so I'm going to request from the floor an amendment to that effect and see if I can get a board member that's willing to make it.
Okay.
I have no problem with the power source, as long as there's not a lot of people need them. I think we ought to be able to provide that on behalf of that they could use them. If there's other people and there's competition for the power source, and I think we could work that out through that period. That's not, I think some of these things that we could be, there's some good rules in here. We don't really need to choke on the smaller stuff like the power source or as well as a single held tripod. If it comes to a situation that we have problems with that, this board still has the leverage to take board action on that behalf. On each one of these rules, from what I understand with Ms. Dow, we could say, hey, we have too many tripods in here, no tripods this meeting. And that would take a board action, and we would say, sorry, we didn't want to fill the room up with tripods.
Well, but I think you need to have a rule ahead of time that says you have the right to do that.
Right, and I could agree with that.
Okay.
But as long as it doesn't cause disturbance, as long as it doesn't cause a real ruckus, and the sources are available, I have no problem with that. Let's move forward on those type things and keep rolling. There's a lot of good things in these 10 that we're looking at that needed to be in there, and I appreciate us having these kind of protocols for meetings. But I also feel like I would have no problem with the other ones on a case-by-case basis, as long as we have a situation that we get to work through that.
Madam Chairman, I think, I can't totally disagree with you, but I think that this is, it's better to have it in here and then change it on a person-to-person or condition-to-condition exception. That if that comes up, then we can decide quickly, yeah, it's okay.
At the individual meeting.
Have it in there for protection, and then we have the right to make that change if necessary.
Well, you may just add something, the use of tripods for cameras is prohibited unless approved by the board.
Right.
And the same with the electrical, you want to say unless approved by the board, because then you also have to work out boards and, all of this. And,
Can I interject something about this?
Sure.
About this
Your turn,
electricity.
Mr. Sim. Go ahead.
I know of no television, radio, public broadcasting, whatever, any media, I know of no one that comes to a public meeting without battery packs to run their cameras, recorders, or whatever. I've never seen one of them hook up to a power supply at a public meeting. So
That's because of the cords and all of the issues.
and I mean, they just don't do it. I mean, most of them come with shoulder-mounted cameras for television stations, shoulder-mounted recording devices, or waist-mounted recording devices for newspaper or print or whatever. Radio, I've never seen anybody do this, and I mean, I don't see where the electricity is an issue. I mean, I just don't see where it's an issue.
And the good part about it is we can have different opinions on this board. I can take you to the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury meeting. We have a place for the media with tripods to be set up and power sources for them to connect into. And of course, they're credentialed media. As far as what we have
How
here,
many square feet you got in that meeting?
we've got a lot more than we do in here, but when we have a situation where we have electricity that's not, or outlets that are not being used, in a proactive way, the videotaping of that, I have no heartburn with that at all. So I feel different on that opinion, that as long as it's not disrupting this meeting, and the only thing I see in disrupting this meeting is trying to get these rules straight that we can all come to some type of agreement.
That's my opinion. I've just never
Sure.
seen it anywhere. I mean, but I go to public meetings.
But in coming back to our attorney and the way we may write this, I don't want to see us have to take board action if Mr. Burns wants to play his video recorder at the next meeting. If it's a situation that we have a problem, then we take board action on that problem. But if there's no problems, why try to create a barrier or create a problem at that point in time? Let's just keep realize the situation. And believe me, y'all can be in a different agreement with me, but I just see we move forward with that in a positive way, let those actions go.